Reminds me of a very old school game.
Yeah.
Like
Ball
toy.
and cup.
Right.
So, Josh, when you're collecting a specimen, do you take in like whether or not they're delicate or squishy or like more substantial as a factor into what method of collection you use?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the goal really is to not damage you know, the animal or whatever it is that you're collecting. So, really, yes, a lot of those factors go in. You know, rock, obviously, you can be a little more aggressive with, but something like this is so delicate, you don't want to damage it so that, you know, when the scientists collect it, they have not dealing with something that's the tissues are torn or anything like that, so. I think I'm just going to forget that game and do this.
Thank you for that insight.
Might have to move a little bit, maybe.
Any chance we can iris down just a little bit on this?
That'd be great, actually. Yeah, thank you.
Good call.
And we've got some good stills of this animal. Yes, Greta?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah,
It's a
okay.
bit far. So if we want to really get good stills of the sea cucumber, we should go a bit closer, I think.
I think we've got some good zooms with the video though too, yeah.
I'm just going to change.
For sure we have good stills of the sampling and of the old school game.
Yeah. Can we zoom right there for just a minute?
Sure.
Just to get one last zoom, just to make sure we've got a good imagery of this
Absolutely, yeah, let's
animal.
zoom in. I'm actually going to move the vehicle as well.
Okay.
So yeah, let's go ahead and zoom in.
The thing is,
Max, what is an iris?
Is that a zip tie?
Might be, I could put that away in the box.
So the iris
Great.
refers to the
Thanks.
camera aperture, how wide the opening is.
How does that affect the footage?
Wider opening lets in more light. Smaller opening lets in less light.
Awesome, thank
Can
you.
we turn the lasers off for just a second?
yep.
That's great, thanks.
Okay, we'll come wide, please. Okay, I'm just going to have to move the vehicle. So I can get a better reach on that. Can we zoom in a little bit, please?
Very nice.
So Jeff, why are we collecting the specimen?
So we've seen quite a few of these about, and we're not certain what they are. So it being what seems to be a fairly common animal, it would be great to have a specimen that we can confirm the identity of. We can then translate to all the video we've collected, knowing the identity. Now it's not, would not just be a family, but we could get it identified to a genus or maybe even a species.
That's amazing. And Manzel, you were talking earlier about how significant sea cucumbers are to the Palauan culture. How do you feel witnessing this sort of moment?
It gives us a better understanding of how what their roles are and how they exist in our ecosystem. Mainly our understanding of sea cucumbers are in shallow waters, so I think it's pretty important to know the whole story of a sea cucumber in our waters, whether in the deep or in the shallow waters.
Thank you.
I just saw some of the comments saying that Hawaii has a moratorium on sea cucumbers as well because it has a cultural importance. We see the same thing in Palau. Although it has a great monetary value, I think we want to continue to have it in our ecosystem, so we want to study it and protect it for our future generations.
Mm.
Nicely done.
Well, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
In there?
Okay, so
Very nice.
let's come wide. Yeah, maybe I could try. Maybe I'll just try to take it over level. Or do you think I should like capture it in there?
I can't see because of the
It's quite far
sediment
down.
there,
Could you
but
just
it
move
looks
the
like it's on
camera
the
for me?
bottom.
Yeah, I've
If
got
it's
it.
on the bottom, I'd just swing around with it, yeah?
Yeah, I just got to try and keep it level, yeah. And then I got to bring my whole, I just got to try and change my arm position here a little bit. And then do what I can to keep it level.
So is this one of the swimming sea cucumbers that we've been seeing?
Yeah, we saw this one swimming. When we saw the first specimen of this sea cucumber, I thought it was in a different group and was not one of the swimming varieties, but then we saw it swimming.
It's
So,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is important or not, but culturally, when we want to preserve the sea cucumber, we keep them in in salt water for as long as possible to maintain its structural integrity.
Let me know if you want samples of
It's
them.
amazing. Thank you.
I think we'll be okay like this once I get it over. I just want to be able to get it in view. Oh yeah, I can see it there. The current's actually helping us out here a little bit, which is nice.
Do you want box open?
Just give me one more sec.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that just thruster current, or is that?
No, I think
I
that's
think that's actually the current.
actual current. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
They just.
So there's a rock sample in the forward large bio box, so I think we can put it in there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give the box a bump. See that my arm is clear. Yeah. Okay.
So the forward one.
I'm gonna go. If you want to go
Forward, yeah.
forward, big one,
Forward big box.
and then I'm just gonna put the whole works in.
I'm afraid if you, because of the current, which is why I was
Yeah.
asking about
Yeah.
it, that if we try to shake it out, it's just going to blow away.
It's very floaty.
Yeah.
And actually, yeah, then if you use the box to sample somewhere later, you're not going to be as worried about it floating out.
Right.
Hopefully. Who knows? Climb out of there. Just got to get the right. Do you mind if I do, can I do the rear one? Can I do the back one?
There's a small Metallogorgia coral in there.
Oh, okay.
Jeff, what do you think?
That's okay.
It
It's
might
okay.
produce a lot of, the sea cucumber, I don't know if this is one that's going to produce a lot of mucus. I don't know.
It's okay. I'm gonna.
Okay.
There we go. I got it.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay, there we go. All right, let's close that up. Sweet.
Yeah, you did amazing, Josh.
Thank you.
That was so cool.
Okay. Oh,
Sorry, I was fighting with you.
Oh, was
there.
that you?
Yeah. Fighting over the camera. It's fine.
Are we clear to keep moving?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Whenever you're ready.
Bridge nav. Can we move another 50 meters at bearing 218? Thank you.
Ali, and welcome to our new viewers. We are currently exploring an unnamed seamount west of Babeldaob Island, just outside the boundaries of the Palau National Marine Sanctuary. This is a 16-hour dive with goals to survey the diversity and distribution of deep-sea benthic communities and look at the area's geological features to better understand the age and volcanic history of the region. If you have any questions, any comments, please send them over on nautiluslive.org.
Zoom in, please.
Shrimp.
Yeah.
They usually don't get much bigger than this, right?
The shrimp?
Yeah.
I've seen them on the abyssal plain at 20 centimeters in length.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, double.
that's great. Thank you.
Go, come on, please.
Yeah, they frequently show up to our baited cameras, and it's really interesting. Occasionally, they actually will land on the bait and eat the bait, but most frequently, what they're after are the little amphipod crustaceans, these little white crustaceans that are related to beach fleas. And those show up to the bait and burrow into the bait, eat the bait, and then the large shrimp come along and they grab the amphipods and carry them away.
Oh,
And these shrimp are predators.
that's so cool.
It's kind of terrifying, actually, because you see them and they grab a hold of these little amphipods in their legs. You can see the amphipod struggling to
Oh
get
my
away,
goodness.
and the shrimp just swims out of the field of the view in darkness.
Oh my goodness. That's terrifying to think about.
It is, actually.
Their beauty and their grace.
Yeah, the
Diverts.
first times we saw it, it was like, oh, they're so graceful, but oh, they're so predatory.
It's all a ruse.
You zoom in, please.
I don't know what that was moving there.
It might be just like detritus or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, come on, please.
So we've been seeing a lot of detritus and a lot of other stuff like floating around. What is that, Jeff?
Usually when we see detritus in the water column, we call it marine snow because it looks like little snowflakes falling down through the water. And that's the main food supply for the deep sea. Out of the range of light that can fuel photosynthesis of algae and plants, the deep sea is largely dependent upon this detritus. It's dead things. It's dead phytoplankton. It's dead zooplankton. It's whale poop, and all the things that are generated in surface waters eventually sink. And this is a really important flux because all of that is carbon. And that carbon is leaving the surface where it's usually in equilibrium with the atmosphere. So it's taking the carbon out of our atmosphere and bringing it into the deep ocean where it can be stored, some of it for a long time. So it's the food for the deep sea, and actually measuring how much of it comes down into the deep sea is of particular interest to science because of the carbon cycle and climate change.
Wow, thank you for that insight.
That's an interesting topic for these areas when it comes to carbon sequestration and blue economy.
Yeah,
It's a big topic around this region.
indeed. And yeah,
Zoom in,
you've
please.
got that passive flux of particles, and then you also have all that active movement of organisms that I was mentioning before, those small fishes and zooplankton and things that come up to the surface at night. They feed there, so they're taking in carbon, but then during the day, when they migrate down to depth, they're breathing out CO2, they're pooping, and carbon is transported rapidly to depth. And we are really realizing
come
that
like
that
this.
active flux, the actual movement of carbon by animals, is in some places as important as just the passive flux of the marine snow.
Right.
Zoom in, please.
You saw that?
Yeah, there's a coral on the right. Yeah.
Okay.
And anemone cup coral. What do we got here?
How do you distinguish an anemone from a cup coral?
Well, if I can see that it has a carbonate base to it, then that would be a cup coral. And the anemones don't have that. They don't have a calcareous structure. That looks like at the bottom of it, it's on a little pedestal.
Yep.
So I presume that this is a cup coral. If we can look up to the right, there
Okay,
was
come on,
another
please.
possibly Metallogorgia or some other coral on the boulder to the right. There
Oh.
it is.
So is a tube-dwelling anemone a cup coral?
Steve is confirming
Oh,
that
those
is
are
a
cup
cup coral, Caryophilidae.
All right, thank you, Steve. Sorry, Max, you asked a question. I didn't catch that.
Zoom in a bit there, please.
Is a tube-dwelling anemone considered an anemone then?
They are anemones. They're typically in the Cereanthidae, but they don't have a carbonate pedestal that they are on.
Huh.
Let's look at these corals first. This is really interesting. It looks like some sort of chrysogorgid, but it has branches. We'll need to zoom in on the polyps of these guys if we can.
Okay, I'm just going to sit maybe for a second.
Sure. And Greta just pointed out there's a little sponge
Oh,
down
come light,
there
please, for a
next
sec.
to them. Okay.
Okay,
And
we'll zoom in.
Metallogorgia. But it's branched.
This is juveniles, Steve. Metallogorgia juveniles.
Okay, so
Okay.
Steve Oskovich is saying that these are juveniles, and then as this coral
Come
colony
light, please.
grows, it drops the branches, so then it turns into the body form we're more familiar with, where it's just a single stalk with the plume of tentacles only at the top.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That is.
Okay, I got
What is that in the distance there floating away? Looks like a big fish.
Left, right?
Right. To the right.
all right.
Sorry, that was poor timing.
Over there.
A little bit further to the right. Might be too far gone now.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So Max, as our video engineer, what kind of features are you working with as you kind of look at the footage? We talked about like iris, the aperture, anything about like the brightness or?
Yeah, the aperture is the like #1 key to the brightness. So the iris is the brightness essentially. But then the focus and the zoom are the other two main controls.
Is it on the tripod?
And what kind of movements do you have at your disposal?
I can just do zoom. The pan and tilt is up to the ROV team. whether or not they're going to move the pan and tilt. Because generally it's best to have a stationary camera for driving.
Not yet, not yet.
I guess
Let's
too much.
focus on this
Zoom
one
in,
yet.
please.
Nope, just rock.
Little rock.
Okay.
All right, come on, please.
What kind of substrate is this?
This looks like all basalt lava flow. If you go left, Josh, out
Yeah.
in the distance, there looked like there was a very large coral.
Okay.
Yep, right down there on the bottom left. It's a metallogorgia. Okay.
Okay.
Before it was kind of in the distance and we couldn't tell what it was.
Look, what an interesting feature. This like ridge
Yeah. Yeah.
we're on. Looks like a big like lava river on top of something.
So we got a comment from one of our viewers. They said, I want to quit my job and just sit and watch ROV dives 24/7, preferably on board in your chilly control room. Noel, I feel like this
Zoom in,
would be a good idea to talk about OET's opportunities for education and training.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but we've got lots of opportunities to join for the 2025 expedition season. Our internship applications are open. I think they close in January or February. Maybe someone on the education team can correct me on that. But they're open now for options
wide,
in
please.
the ocean sciences, in ocean mapping, as well as in the engineering and video side of the collections that we do. We've also got an opportunity to join us as science communication fellows. So educators, in any sense of the word, are welcome to apply and join us in sharing our discoveries in real time on the ships next year.
Awesome, thank you. It is a very comfy chair, so I highly encourage that you all apply if you want to do it.
Just for the comfy chair, though.
It's so comfy. I feel so supported.
You should try Josh's chair.
Is it padded?
It's like a car chair.
This is so cool.
It's getting a little worn in, though. It's had a lot of hours.
It's just flow of lava with sand filling in all the gaps. Is that a sponge right there,
That
the
white
white
one.
thing?
Okay, we'll zoom in, please.
This looks like a cup coral, but there is no cup left. Or the cup is there, but the animal is gone.
Yeah, well, come wide, please.
A cupless coral.
Or a coralless cup.
Coralless
There
cup,
you go,
yeah.
a coralless cup.
yeah.
So we have a question from one of our viewers. What is the most weirdest, rarest type of creature you have ever seen?
Oh wow, that's hard to say
Yeah, we'll zoom in, please.
because we so frequently see things that no one's ever seen before, so they're by definition rare.
They're all weird.
Yeah. There's another cup
Cup
coral
coral.
there. That's a metallogorgia. We were working in the Clarion-Clipperton zone, which is an area between Hawaii and Central America, and
Come wide, please.
we did some surveys like this with ROVs, and literally 50% of the animals that we saw were brand new to science.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Steve is telling us that the cup coral, the dead one we saw before, it's easy to ID because the tissue is gone.
So you can see all the structures in the cup.
And that belongs to the genus Flabellidae, I think, or family.
Family.
Maybe family.
Yep, family. Yep.
That's quite a fancy cup they have there.
How about you, Greta and Noel? Like, what is kind of the weirdest, rare sea creature that you've ever seen?
I echo what Jeff has said, but I think just to bring it to Palau, on the last expedition, there were a couple very weird things to me, things that we pulled up, including a pluribrink, which just looked like a squishy orb.
Oh.
It was wild,
Zoom in,
as
please.
well as this sea cucumber that no one, nor scientists ashore, had ever really seen a sea cucumber that looked like this. It was just this gelatinous star-shaped organism. And in the lab afterwards, the only thing that we could all collectively say with confidence was that it was, in fact, an animal. And beyond that, we really were not sure.
It was alive.
And we were able to get
please.
it down to a particular, I think it was a family level of a type of sea cucumber. But that was not something you would look at and immediately recognize as a sea cucumber.
That's so cool. Thank you.
For me, I mean, I don't have much experience in the
We'll
deep
zoom in,
sea,
please.
but we have a lot of weird animals on coral reefs as well. And I remember this night dive in Indonesia, when I pointed my torch on a rock that was all like encrusted with sponges, anemones and algae and whatsoever. And this rock branched out with legs and started to move around. And there I was like, oh my God, is this a transformer or what?
It will come my place.
And it was actually a decorator
sorry,
crab.
Jeff.
Can we zoom on that a little bit more?
Yeah.
And just see what those different zoanthids and hydroids and things were?
Sure.
And yeah, these crabs have sort of hairs on their body, and they literally just pick things around from the reef and stuck them on their hairs. And this is the way that they have to camouflage. And you will never be able to see one unless
Go
they
zoom
move
in, please.
around.
Wow.
And that was pretty spectacular and also scary, if I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
I would say the same as Noel. Like I said, I come from a family of fishermen, so
We can push in more, I think.
I feel like my experience in the shallow areas are pretty well documented, but with the sea cucumbers that we've seen down here, it's just crazy, mesmerizing, and there's no words to describe them in my mind.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Can we tilt up just a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. Hydroids, zoanthids, a few other associates, some small cladorized sponges perhaps lower down. Can you tilt down just a little bit and kind of tilt all the way down towards the base?
What are zoanthids? Are they a type of cnidarian?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're little, oh, that's a
Oh.
mysid swimming over there. That's in the genus Boreomyces, probably.
Another kind
This
of
is great. Thank
Okay.
you.
Come my place.
Another metallogorgid coral.
So Ali, and welcome to our viewers. We are currently exploring an unnamed seamount west of Babeldaob Island, just outside the boundaries of the Palau National Marine Sanctuary. This is a 16-hour dive with goals to survey the diversity and distribution of deep-sea benthic communities and look at the area's geological features to
There's
better
a cool
understand
rat tail.
the age and volcanic history of the region. If you have any questions, any comments, please send them to us on nautiluslive.org.
Go zoom in, please.
Coryphonoides.
Is this another rat tail?
Yeah, this is another rat tail. Genus Coryphonoides. Don't know the species.
Have we seen this one before?
Yeah, this is the one we saw maybe half an hour ago, kind of up in the water column. Same species.
Oh, come on, please.
Thanks.
Is he patrolling for some prey under?
Is it what?
With his barbs?
Yeah,
patrolling.
This one is actually, yeah, probably trying to find some food right there on the bottom. It's a fish right there in the water column. We can zoom on that guy.
Oh, there's two.
Yeah, let's focus on this little guy right here. The one on the top right, I think, is Basocetus.
Yeah, let's zoom in, please.
And I do not know what this guy is.
Thanks.
This fish
Sure.
has got a kind of pointier snout than the cusk eels we have generally been seeing.
Yeah, we'll zoom in a bit more.
Is it upside down?
I can't tell.
I think it's,
I can't even, I'm not even sure this is a cusk eel.
It's got some weird pelvic fin.
it's like its head down and the bottom of it is facing
yeah,
us.
and it's facing away. It's
Yeah,
kinda
there we
got
go. Now
its-
it's
There
turning.
we go.
Yeah.
Scalloped head. Oh, this
Wow.
might be the Porogadus. If there's any possibility of collecting this
Okay, we'll
fish,
stop
that
the
would be
ship.
great.
Okay, come wide, please.
What
Okay.
What's special about this fish?
Try and keep an eye
So
on
this
it.
is similar to the, we saw a large one of these maybe 10 minutes ago.
Hey, no.
Oh,
no.
and that may
No.
be the end of that. Okay. No worries. Thanks for getting the zooms.
Oh,
that was
there it
great.
is right there.
Oh, okay.
Is this something we're sampling?
If we can.
I think we're going to try and
Slurp
slurp it again.
sampler.
Okay. We're gonna set up.
Okay, let's do a bit of a zoom. Keep the porch in view. Great.
I have to come up. You can see the tether and butt cam.
Good. I'm going to turn on the suction. Suction's on.
So unlike many of the cusk eels, the members of this genus swim with just the very last bit of the tail,
Raise ours
which is
down a little bit.
very long and thread-like.
Great, thanks.
Do you know how long they can live for?
It's a little high.
No. I do not.
Or how big they can get?
Oh,
Oh, there we go. Got it.
awesome.
Amazing.
Was
Okay,
that
it's in there
container number
and
2, right?
rotating.
So
Yeah, it's container
Yep,
2.
got
this,
it. Nice.
This fish can get
Pretty
up
good at
to about 60, 70 centimeters, maybe a little bit more. They have they're
Oh,
all
come wide,
like
please.
little tiny tails, so a lot of that length. They're not really that big a fish. A lot of it is just that very thin tail.
Thank you.
Looks like we got our procedure down.
Yeah, this is really productive.
That was
Are you happy
awesome,
with
Josh.
the arm where it is? Maybe?
You could swing it out maybe just a little bit. You can see it just.
Yeah, okay.
Josh, you could probably operate the Da Vinci surgical arms after this.
You know, I was just going to ask, like, Josh, are you good at crane games? Like at carnivals or fairs or stuff like that?
Arcades.
Well, it's very much a team sport, that one. Fry is awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll get back out in front here a little bit. So that went into jar 2.
Thank you. And Nav, you got that was sample 021?
Ooh.
Oh, and this is another one. If we can just get a zoom on this
Which
fish
one?
right here. Right there.
That one, okay.
Yeah.
Zoom, please.
So now this is the third of these I think we have seen. If assuming this is the same thing, it's looking like it based on its swimming behavior. Just like in birding, if you know, sometimes you can distinguish what bird you're looking at just by the way it flies or moves. And the same is certainly true with fishes. And this particular genus of cusk eels with that tail is pretty distinctive.
What do cusk eels eat?
Porogadus, I have no idea. Actually, I'm not sure this is the same thing. Has to turn a little bit more to the side. Yeah, it is. It's not Basicitas. The head is not as bulbous. Okay.
Well, come wide, please.
Thanks.
Yep.
Oh, that's just another crinoid. Okay.
Well,
Hate to
halosaur
do
or
this to you, but there's another fish right there. That's a halosaur, and we are not going to be able to keep
Okay.
up with it.
We're out here.
I feel like the halosaurs have like very nervous energy.
They do, yeah. When they swim, their head just goes wildly left to right. The direction of movement is almost random.
So Dan, question from one of our viewers. What factors are you considering as you call in bridge nav?
We have a series of waypoints that define our survey track here that were defined by the science team. So we're trying to keep the ship moving upslope and in the direction of those waypoints.
Thank you so much.
A lot of little individual cup corals around here. tall stocked crinoid. Let's take a look at what we've got on the end of this boulder here.
We'll zoom in, please.
Okay, so here are a couple of these stocked crinoids that might be, for instance, in the metacrinus group. If we can get any more zoom on the crinoids. That's great. Little shrimp hiding in there. Okay, thanks.
Okay, why, please?
Another Metallogorgia, some Regadrella sponges.
Venus flytrap anemone.
Yeah, it's a cool Venus flytrap over there on the right. If we could go take a look at it. I don't know, are we getting pulled in the other direction?
I got it to kind of head off to the left, but I can
have a look at that. That's just a crinoid.
have a quick look.
Oh, yeah,
Where did that
there's
go?
more of those crinoids.
Oh, right
I think
there.
those are those, a lot of crinoids in here. Wow.
Okay, we'll do a quick zoom on there. Yep, go for it.
Is that a scale worm wrapped around its base?
It's interesting, yeah.
What is that?
I'm not sure. My first instinct is some sort of worm.
Wow.
Looks like another like isopod or something.
Yeah, can we get the lasers off for a second?
Yep.
Yeah, I see what look like scales on the top of it. I'm guessing it's a scale worm, but I don't see obvious CD sticking out of the sides of it that would really, well, maybe they're there now that we're zoomed a little, just a little bit more.
Is it called the Venus flytrap because it looks like that, or is it
Yes.
Does it interact with its prey as well like that, or does
It's an anemone,
Oh.
you know, it's trapping prey like all anemones, you know,
Okay.
waiting for things to blunder into the tentacles. But yeah, I think just because of the way it looks, it got
Right,
the name.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yep, okay, we'll come wide. And I gotta kind of get back into position here.
Hey, my heading is currently 215.
Okay.
Ali, and welcome to our new
Scale worm.
viewers.
Yep.
We are currently exploring an unnamed seamount west of Babeldaob Island, just outside the boundaries of the Plough National Marine Sanctuary. This is a 16-hour dive with goals to survey the diversity and distribution of deep-sea benthic communities and look at the area's geological features to better understand the age and history of this region. If you have any questions, send them over on nautiluslive.org.
We have a lot of ripples here.
I'll zoom in, please.
A lot of current. Bazocetus.
It'll come
Great,
right.
thanks.
Yeah, the current really continues to push me up the hill, which is interesting.
Yeah.
We really saw it in the when we were collecting the the cucumber there. All the current was flowing away in the vehicle. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
Yeah, shrimp just shot down there.
oh,
There's a
ctenophore.
ctenophore in the water column right there.
That's gonna be fun to focus for Max.
Oh my goodness. I've always wanted to see a ctenophore.
They are gorgeous. Very hard to track and and strong current.
Wow.
Just keep drifting past.
Tiny sea star down
Yeah,
there.
there's a sea star over there.
Let's zoom in, please.
It's so cute.
This is a cookie?
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
it looks like a cookie.
Patrick, is that you?
Okay, hook on wide, please.
So Josh, you mentioned that you can kind of feel the current pushing you, what does that feel like? Are you just like going faster, or?
Well, yeah, like for example, if I completely let go of the controls, and now we're drifting in the current. So I can sort of feel like the current is pushing me a little bit forward. And so you can kind of get a feel for how much, you have a lot of muscle memory when you're operating the vehicle, so you can tell if you're trying to push the vehicle harder. We'll zoom in, please. In any one direction, or you're fighting something. You can also look at, we have so much information up here about the vehicle, so I can look at how hard the vehicle is working in terms of how much hydraulic pressure that I have to push the vehicle around. So that gives me a lot of information. I can see how hard the thrusters are working, what percentage of thrust that we're using. So it's, and a whole host of other bits of information that can sort of help me get a feel for how hard I have to push the vehicle to hold it steady when you're trying to, I'm trying to hold the vehicle still as I can right now because I'm free flying while we're trying to get the zoom. So, you can see how I'm drifting, like the coral's coming out of screen to the right, so that means I have to put some input in. So that means the current's pushing me past this coral. And I have to kind of fight that to keep it still. So you get a real feel for what how the water's moving around you.
But there's no like a mechanical
Come wide, please.
Mechanical damper on your controls that tells you how heavy it is.
Shrimp.
Thank you for
sorry,
that
what was the question again?
Like there's no like on a fly-by-wire plane or something that has a damper that tells the pilot how heavy the controls are. There's none on your controls that does that.
No, nothing like that.
What is that? That white thing?
Yeah.
Whoa, zoom in, please.
I'm guessing this is a polychaete worm.
Amazing. The one Renato has tattooed on his arm.
Yep.
Oh, I always wanted to see one of these.
Yeah.
What is that?
So if we can get a better zoom on this, it'd be great.
Okay.
This is a polychaete worm. It's probably a scale worm or a polynoid, and a number of them.
Is that all the zoom you got?
No, we got more zoom, sorry. Just didn't want to...
A polychaete worm?
Yeah, so polychaetes are worms that have these little setae. You can see the little bristles sticking out to the left and right. And then this particular one, if you look at the back, it has plates on the back, very fine plates. A little bit like armor. It's not like an earthworm.
Yeah. Can they be found in like shallower waters?
They can, yeah. Polychaetes are found everywhere in the oceans.
It's amazing.
And many, many different kinds. Some live in tubes that they secrete fixed to rocks, and others are mobile swimming animals, predators like this one.
Okay, well, come wide.
Great.
What do they eat?
So scale worms like this are probably eating other small invertebrates that it would find on or just in the mud. Possibly other small worms and other very small animals there.
Awesome, thank you.
A very common polychaete that we find on the coral reefs all over the world are the Christmas tree worms. Perhaps some of our viewers are more familiar with them. They're very colorful and they look like tiny Christmas trees. And as soon as you get too close, they just retract in their tube. Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you for that.
Wow.
Any chance we can zoom on these corals? Are we catching up to Atalanta?
Catching up a little bit. Sorry, which one?
This is an amazing wall right down there on the bottom.
Oh, down on the bottom there?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can, try to slide over to get a look what's on the
Sure.
wall, but yeah. Tilts up a little bit.
Yeah, there's a bunch of corals kind of behind us to the right now.
That's stunning.
Makes me want to go rock climbing.
So there's one over there.
Oh, zoom in, please.
Bamboo, I think.
So why are they called bamboo coral?
So they have little segments made out of carbonate, like a shell,
Oh, come wide, please.
that are divided by little joints that look like the joints in,
I gotta
in
get
bamboo.
moving up here.
Thank you.
Try and keep following this edge a bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, a little halosaur on the right.
Oh yeah.
Just try and get out in front a little bit, and then I'll be able to
Okay.
go a bit slower.
A bunch of these pro-isocrinus crinoids. Something right there,
The
on the
little
right.
spawns.
Oh, zoom in, please.
Sponge.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come wide. Just try and move a little bit ahead of it.
Oh wow, what's that right down there in the sand, Josh?
Yeah. Octocoral, maybe.
Yep.
Sure.
Cophoblemnon or
Come
something
on
like
down.
that.
There we go. Okay, we'll zoom in, please.
Well, good call on the octocoral.
That's cool. Yeah, I think this is Cophoblemnon. Steve is on, so he'll probably correct me.
Is that like food we're seeing, like, or gut, or oh, no?
Oh, right at
Like-
the bases of the tentacles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing is the gut.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. That's neat.
You can see the little polyps
Oh, that's
budding
really
off,
great
too.
right there.
What kind of?
Cophoblemnon? It's,
Okay, well,
it is
sorry,
an
gotta
octocoral.
keep moving here. We'll
Yep,
come wide.
that's great. Thank you.
Every time I'm like, just so to catch up.
Cool.
Keep getting behind a little bit.
Can you say the name one more time?
Cophoblemnon. So Kophoblemm. Have I got that right? Something like that.
Tiny Basozetus, I think.
Okay.
How are these crinoids reproducing?
I don't know. I presume they're just shedding gametes into the water column, but I don't know much about echinoderm reproduction.
I was wondering if it was more like a brooding or a broadcasting strategy.
I do not know.
Because they look like they are sort of in clusters.
Right.
Like small clusters here and there.
Better hope the one slur doesn't find out about this spot. Turn them all into the needs.
It's
So we have a question from one of our viewers. What kind of specimens have been sampled today?
So not a ton of specimens collected so far. We collected a rock sample early on in the dive that we can use to get a sense for the geological history of the region. We caught a sea cucumber on this watch, and then a couple other corals were collected by the first watch team. So there was a chrysogorgid that I believe we were pretty unsure about, and no one seemed to know exactly what it is. There was also a collection that included an octopus egg case potentially, as well as a squat lobster associate that was really exciting. And then to Jeff's great happiness, I believe, we also collected 2 different fish specimens on this dive. So we collected a rat tail and something else. What was the other one? A cuss eel?
in the genus Porogadus.
That's right, a Porogadus cuss eel. We've also collected 1 eDNA water sample so far, and we'll be continuing to collect those as we get shallower and in a stratified method up through the water column.
That's amazing. Thank you. I guess expanding on that, what happens to the specimens that were collected as they head to the surface and the pressure decreases?
Well, the animals die. That's it's sad. It's why we are not collecting wildly. We collect very specifically. Can we stop here and take a look at this field of crinoids and other animals?
Okay, let's stop the ship.
You know, looking at this morphology.
But you know, I mean, as the person who wrote the question probably can presume, there's great changes in temperature and pressure as we head to the surface, and the animals are adapted to those cold temperatures and high pressures at depth, so they do not survive coming to the surface, and they are dead when we retrieve them.
Thank you.
We'll zoom in, please.
So so I think this is metacrinus or saracrinus, something like that, one of those groups of crinoids. This is quite the field of them. You can actually see their little feet.
Oh, little feet?
They're these, at the bases of the stalk, you'll see they have what almost look like roots. Those are feet that they're using to hold on to the substrate.
Oh, cool.
Do we have a second to get set up for some really nice stills?
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind
that
of
would be great.
a really
Look at this
beautiful
one
spot.
already.
Can we
got
turn
it.
That's awesome.
Can we turn the lasers off for a minute too?
Sure.
Yeah, got that.
We got any more?
Let's just take one more for good measure, Greta. That's really, really cool.
Chicken foot.
Yeah, doesn't it look like that?
They look like little flowers.
So Noelle, these are the ones that can move.
They can
This
move?
makes more sense
Yeah.
than the, I was imagining just
the
that red stalked
pro-isocrinus, no, they're
crinoid.
fixed.
Yeah. And I was like, I thought that was a permanently attached holdfast. I don't understand. But the, the CRI attached ones make sense that they would move.
Different group.
Yeah.
That's
Come a little water.
It's wild to me.
Can you see the, I don't know if it's going to be visible, but there's an anemone up to the right by
Yeah.
a dead sponge. There's a few other things we might be able to zoom on while we're sitting
Whoa.
here.
The anemone's a bit far because we are just
Yeah,
Yeah,
full
it's
zoom
not
in.
far, but I can
Okay.
hop over there, no problem. Okay, let's come wide.
I still think they
If
look
you
like
wouldn't mind
truculent
just sort of
trees.
spinning to the right a little bit to see what else is there. It
Sure.
just seemed like there was a lot right
Yep,
here.
I'll take my time here.
Seems like this ridge, small ridge,
Yeah.
is enhancing the transport of food perhaps on its top.
Uh-huh.
That's where we find so
A
many
little bit of
organisms
acceleration
here.
occurrence, yeah.
ROV, I gotta adjust the thermostat again.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Don't know what that thing is there. There was a little white stalk to the bottom right.
Maybe just an amputated
Yeah, it may
crinoid.
just, yeah, it could be.
Just gonna
An
back up a
amputee.
little bit here.
Sure. That's the thing I was talking about, Josh.
Oh, okay.
It
It's
may be
just-
nothing. It may, as Greta is suggesting, be a fragment. But
Just seeing a bit of a white, yeah, that thing there, I wasn't sure, but I can slide over this way.
old attachment point right there.
Shrimp.
Yep, a shrimp.
Go over towards that. What was that, an enemy we thought?
Yes, uh-huh.
Should we turn the lasers back on?
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
Thanks for reminding me.
Probably should, I might be
Maybe
able to
you
get a
wanted to see the
decent
size of
setup
this
for
one.
the still cam for this one, because it's up
Looks big.
perched up higher. So I'm just gonna see if I can get in a good position
Okay.
for that.
Great.
Look at all of them up there, all lined up.
No, Erica, did you
Oh.
move the ship
What'd you say?
back?
The-
Okay. Yep, yeah, I think it should be fine. No worries. We'll just mute your hand. Okay, let's see if I
Yeah.
can sit down gently here.
Let's give them a second. to
Yep.
set.
Good idea.
Oh, what is this?
Some type of anemone. They're a challenge to identify because apparently some of the distinguishing characteristics are their internal morphology.
Mm.
Do you guys think we can move slightly towards the left?
Slightly left,
Yes.
or move the object to the, oh, slightly move the vehicle to the left?
Yes.
Okay.
Jeff, I guess we need to put an X-ray on Herc. That'd be cool.
All right. That's better. Thank you.
Okay,
Oh, that's great picture.
and yeah, now we
Hopefully
can zoom
get
in
it
on the HD.
focus if it doesn't
Yeah.
move too much.
Yeah, do we have any-
zoom in on, yeah, there we go.
Bit of
That's
sediment
beautiful.
around.
Another shrimp.
Tenistolidae, I
The little
think
shrimp on the side.
perhaps. Yeah, nematocarcinus over there on the left.
Menzel, are there any Plauen terms for anemones?
There's one, but it's very specific to the ones that we eat, called atramal. And it's usually they occur right next to the rock islands, like the limestones. They like to grow on the limestones. I've never tasted them, but I remember my grandmother used to harvest them when we were kids.
Wow.
Some of them also grow in sand, and they grow really long roots into the sand. Also, we call them the same way, but for some reason, Palauans don't like to eat the ones on the sand. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
I'm trying.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
great.
Happy?
Greta, are you good there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Okay, we'll come wide, please. Well, let's actually, can we just wait just for a sec? Just cancel that, yeah. I'm just going to poke around just a little bit more, and then, so I think there's a few more things to check out while we're stopped. If that's okay with you, Jeff?
Yeah, that was great.
I think I want to look, there might be something on the walls on the other side of this ridge here.
Sounds good. So many crinoids.
Ah,
Do you think that the current has affected like the distribution along this ridge?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's the presence of something hard to attach to combined with just good flow, and they're your filter feeders.
Cool.
Also, the ridge is a bit elevated compared to the rest of the floor of the seabed, and this helps the ridge to be kept free from the sediment that falls down, because the sediment always tends to accumulate in the lowest parts. So it's a bit of an elevated platform where these organisms can actually attach in between all of this large deposition of sediments.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's your specialty, right, Greta?
Yes?
Cool.
Do you want to tell us really briefly about how this works up on the shallow reef?
I don't know if I'm able to do this briefly, but yeah. Kind of my research approach is to look how the seabed morphology interacts with the flow, with the water flow, such as currents and waves, in redistributing the sediments and also in determining nutrient uptakes. So this ultimately has very important effects on the benthic communities, both in the shallow reefs and in the deep sea as well, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So feel free to ask me any question about it. But if I start to talk about this, I might not end until tonight. So I would really advise that we finish here.
Specific questions?
Yeah, and we stay focused on the deep sea and exploration for now.
Sounds like fun. Thank you.
can we zoom in, please?
This is a new sponge. This is kind of a flattened one, I think. Okay, that's
All right,
great.
we'll come wide, please.
Whoa,
Oh no. Wow.
look, it's ripping the current.
Some of that, yeah,
There's
wow.
also some edging
There might
going
be
on.
some, yeah, and there might be some thruster wash in there
Yeah,
too.
that might have been me. Sorry. Okay, maybe we'll get the ship moving now, and then I'll keep looking around a bit more. Off in the distance there. Oh, zoom in, please.
This kind of looks like a little dictyalis. It's got lots of prickles on the sides, which is a little different.
Is this a sponge?
This is a sponge, glass sponge, yep.
Why are they called glass sponges?
Come wide, please.
They actually make their skeleton out of glass. So they are like little pieces of fiber optics crisscrossing back and forth to make the skeleton of that sponge.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Some of the stocked sponges we saw one back at the beginning of our watch, Hylanema, the glass elements that make up the stock are twisted together, so there's multiple pieces of glass fiber all twisted together to make up the stock. And if you actually disentangle them and look at one of them, they really look like a fiber optic. I have a feeling there's a lot of stuff on the top of this, Josh.
Yeah, it was zoom in, please.
Huh?
Oh yeah, I see it like in the wide.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bamboo whip here. If it's at all possible to zoom in more on the polyps here, we need to see polyps to be able to ID it.
Okay. Let me just come wide just for a sec. And let me get kind of better set up here.
Little chrysogorgia down there on the left.
Well, it's quite taller than I was expecting.
It's a bit up from the bottom, huh?
Hey, Josh, if I can step away for just like 3 seconds, I need to talk to Daniel for a sec.
Okay, let's just zoom in on this real quick before you go.
Totally. That will be super fast.
That's great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep. We'll come wide.
Okay, give me 2 seconds now.
So fish to the left. It may be too fast for us. That might be a conolasmid sponge there. I'm not sure.
All right, thank you for that.
Can you guys stop like 2 seconds and I can try to take a picture?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna try and perch on this. Get the sponge in view.
Do you want your porch out a bit?
Yeah, let's do that. Sure.
Let's see. Maybe like there.
Sure.
Okay, I think like this is nice. We have
Okay.
a lot of the crinoids.
Oh
the
yeah, that
sponge.
really is cool looking.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit here. And
Big bamboo stock on the right.
yeah, I love that when you get the black background against
Yeah.
the white sponge. Is pretty cool.
How are we doing, Greta?
I think we have some nice ones.
Okay,
They're not perfect sharp,
we're good.
but we can go up. It definitely shows the environment and what the organisms are, so
Okay, great.
That's nice.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it does look nice.
Move on up the ridge here. I'll bring that porch back in, it'd be great.
Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna turn out the PRV.
Really tall whip here.
It's huge.
Wow. This is meters high.
Wow. Whoa.
Whoa.
got
Can we
a
pan to the
picture.
left and see where this thing ends?
Wow.
Yep. Back up.
Wow.
It's like one of those magician ribbons, it just doesn't end.
That's 10 feet tall.
I'm 6 meters off the sediment anyway.
Incredible.
Okay,
yeah, it's not
I
like
gotta move on here a little bit. I'll go along this
Look
ridge.
at all the metacrinus, all the crinoids.
That's astonishing.
Oh no, I'm going to rocks.
Wow.
That's fantastic. What is this thing right here?
We'll zoom in, please.
Ah, this used to be a sponge. It looks like it is dead now.
Oh, okay, we'll come
Thanks.
wide.
Feels like these rocks that stand out from the sediment are sort of a tiny oasis in this desert.
Yeah, yeah. It is important to note, too, that it definitely looks like a desert, but there are a lot of very small animals here that we cannot see because they're underneath, they're in the sediment, they're in the sand, little worms, little crustaceans, all sorts of things. And so there's actually a lot of life here, it's just really small.
Do we think this is a rock or maybe a piece of wood?
Looks
Because
like a
there was, I think,
rock.
Steve was asking if maybe we should collect one.
Let's see if it's wood.
We'll zoom in, please.
I think it's a coconut. Maybe not.
That looks like a rock.
Yeah.
Cool sea urchin on top.
Is it sea urchin?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah? Wow.
So
Very
point in
nice
case,
find,
lots of
yeah.
small animals that we do miss
We'll come wide,
oftentimes.
please.
Right, ROV, we're going to do a video swap really quickly. Just a heads up. Stepping away to do an interaction.
Yeah.
Ali, and welcome to our new viewers. We are currently exploring an unnamed seamount west of Babeldaob Island, just outside the boundaries of the Plough National Marine Sanctuary. This is a 16-hour dive with goals to survey the diversity and distribution of deep-sea benthic communities and look at the area's geological features to better understand the age and volcanic history of the region. If you have any questions or comments, please send them over on nautiluslive.org.
Zoom in, please.
What do we have here?
Bazazetus. Yep. Yep, little cuskeel.
Okay,
Great.
well,
Thanks.
come
We
on,
can
please.
keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we just saw down there in the mud. We can keep going, but that's a trace
Sure.
of probably a spoonworm's feeding. It will be buried in the mud, and its feeding appendage comes out, and it picks up all of the detritus in its burrow around it, and then it pulls the tentacle back in, and then it goes out and does another area, and so it looks like a star-shaped pattern around a centered hole. And those are spoonworms or echiurin or, well, actually sipunculin worms. Sorry, not echiurin, sipunculins.
Weird. Is that something?
I can't tell. It may just be a patch of detritus or
Yeah.
something right there. Yeah. Some more of these odd sort of trench features in the mud there. I'm not certain what makes those.
Could be a takeoff platform for sea cucumbers.
Sea cucumber engineering projects.
If you look at the wide angle, they're everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Zoom in, please.
Is this Porogadus or a gulper eel? Oh, this is a halosaur. Okay.
You have a shrimp?
Yeah, see how it's kind of got that translucent nose? Yep, there we are. It's a halosaur.
Okay, come wide, please.
How often
Possibly.
do you see... Oh,
Sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
How often do you see the gulper eels?
Well, we saw 4 of them on one dive.
Whoa.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. but I don't think we've seen them since. Have we, Noel?
No.
No.
I think that was the only observation, at least on our watch. I haven't heard any reports that anyone else
Yep.
has seen one.
Oh, another halosaur. If we could get a zoom on this one's head, it will help us at least put it into a genus.
Okay, we'll go over zoom, please.
This looks like Aldrovandia. Oh, that's fantastic.
Wow.
Oh, that's really great. Thank you. Yep, this is Aldrovandia.
What do they eat? It's beautiful.
It is gorgeous. Halosaurs are sort of pick small animals off the surface of the mud.
Mm-hmm.
So tops of worms, crustaceans. Oh, it's
come
really
back, please.
great video footage of this guy, this fish. This looks like another one of those sea cucumbers like the one we collected.
Oh, zoom in, please.
Yep, this is the same one. Great, thanks.
Okay, we'll come light. Thanks.
Oh yeah. Sea star.
Zoom in, please.
this looks a little bit like Evaplasoma.
Yep.
These stars eat corals?
I don't know if this one does. Relative Hipposteria definitely does, but I don't know if this one. If we can get a little bit more zoom on this one.
That's all the zoom I have, so it's just coming closer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll sit down for a sec.
You can see all the tube feet there underneath each of the arms.
What's on top of it? It's just the texture.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Looks like maybe just the texture. They have a lot of carbonate elements in their bodies that give them that sort of rigid sea star shape, including those spines along the edges of the arms, and maybe that's just part of that on the top of the animal. I don't know.
Okay, we'll come wide, please.
Hello. Hello.
All right, so we're just getting settled in back here with our watch change. And are we currently moving? I think you're not on SPL.
Oh, no, we're not moving.
Cool. I think we'd like to collect one of these crinoids.
Okay.
So the previous watch was saying that they'd seen several of these rocky ledge areas that were just pretty much crinoid zones, and that collecting one would be good. So yeah, any of them will do, whichever you can get up close to. Start off right off the back with a sample.
Perfect.
Awesome. So these stock crinoid, they have these kind of feet, or these, I don't know how you would call them. They're attached. Series. Okay, they're attached to the rock. So I guess as much of the crinoid that we can collect to have the whole specimen was of interest.
They should just pop right off.
Perfect.
These guys can actually just move around.
Oh, can they? Can they swim? Or do they have to move around on the substrate?
I don't know if they'll swim. I've never seen it, but they could. Just like the unstocked crinoids, they could undulate, and they can move their little series. They're kind of half between like a proisocrinus, where it's actually attached, and a unstocked crinoid that just has the short series. They've got a stock and legs, you know. Best of both worlds.
Push in there before we take the sample.
All right, get some good still images of that.
Okay.
Yeah. These metacrinus are really pretty. And it's pretty typical, like when we see them, we usually see a lot of them.
Grip force.
Okay, so in terms of box availability, Taya, what do we have open? Is it all the little ones on the starboard side?
Yeah, so we just have the starboard bio box because the forward one has some floaty stuff in it.
Okay, cool. And in the starboard one, there's nothing too floaty?
No, but I think we should be aware of E, which has a cucumber with a net in it.
Okay. All right, so yeah, the little boxes on the starboard side would work, or I'm not sure if this would be slurp. It's probably not a good. It's not gonna slurp. It's too big. So get some screen grabs of that. Nice.
Okay.
Awesome.
Come on. Going over to the starboard box.
All right. Switching cameras. Switching salvos.
Okay, can open the box.
All right. Open out.
Which are open?
All of the little ones, right?
Yeah, so A, B, C, and D.
Okay.
Oh, the cucumber's starting to emerge.
Uh-oh.
All right. Close the box.
All right, closing.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, wait.
Hold on.
Stopped. He got out of the net.
All right, close it.
Nicely done.
Yep,
Very
good.
well done. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, pilots. That went in A, right? The forwardmost one.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. And that's sample 22, right?
22, yeah.
Great. Do you
That
think
sea
we could,
cucumber was on a mission.
could we get a quick zoom on the, what are they called, Megan?
The series, the base.
The series, yeah, let's get a quick zoom on that, on the rock.
You can switch back.
Okay.
That's a grab, yep.
All right.
Are you happy for me to do the zoom?
Yes,
They
you can
want-
go for zoom.
Okay.
Awesome.
CRINOID.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
No, this one's actually one of those ones where it doesn't have silent letters.
Is your spelling as good as your knowledge of the...
Oh, absolutely not. I'm a terrible speller. My mom will tell you.
All right, picking up here.
I feel like that was, when I first started this job, that was one of the major complaints. And I was like, well, maybe we should develop a way so I don't have to spell anything.
You need to get some sort of Latin scientific name dictionary downloaded.
Yeah, eventually after you type them enough, you start to know how to spell them.
So you have to type every single one you see. It's not just like a check one, check two.
Yeah, well, I start typing the names, but the software we use actually has a drop-down menu, and
cool.
so it'll like autofill, and then you can select the right name, and then I don't have to actually spell anything. But when we were first making the animal guides, I had to type the names in to this like PowerPoint, and it was really easy to misspell things. So instead, I was like, I don't know if I really want to do making PowerPoints by hand anymore, and found a way to automate it. This is an echinoderm, so related to sea stars, sea cucumbers, urchins. They're in a group called the crinoids, and this one is called metacrinus.
Ready for a ship move?
Yep.
So speaking of spelling, on our watch we have our data loggers who are having to spell these really difficult words, so it is challenging, but we do our best and we look back at guides afterwards and try to fill those in for our reports. So shout out to Taya for that.
Yeah, I'll be also trying to take notes, and I'm absolutely certain you will not know what I'm writing out, but...
It's hard. It's not easy.
Oh. Something
Little
swam
fish?
by in the cam.
Oh, there's
in front of us.
Fish or something off on the left side.
Oh, yeah.
I'll come down a little bit.
This fish has a parasite.
Push in there.
So this looks like the little Vasozetus.
No problem.
And it's got 2 isopod parasites on it.
We've seen that a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, isopods are often parasites on fish. There's a couple different kinds that we'll see. Got the ones that actually look